a cinema shogun here, and obviously, Rudy Farias has gone through a very traumatic situation. If these allegations are true, then Rudy's been through some really tough stuff. And I imagine that he's probably been going through some weird stuff with his mom forever. I don't think it just started within the last 8 years. You know, I see a lot of people online questioning Rudy. Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he say that? Some people are blaming Rudy. Some people are saying that Rudy's in on all of this. I don't think any of that stuff. But I would like to know a little bit more about Rudy. I would like to be able to see Rudy interact and talk and things of that nature. And don't get me wrong, listen, I know that I'm not entitled to see any of this, and neither are any of you. But when covering this story and hearing so much about Rudy and never really getting to see or hear from Rudy himself, sometimes it feels kind of weird. Because I think we all have our own idea of who Rudy is or how Rudy is. You know what I mean? And in many ways, the picture of Rudy that has been painted in our mind, in many ways, regardless if you realize it or not, that picture of Rudy has been painted by his mother. And I don't think that's necessarily fair. Because now, you know, the story's getting more and more popular, I guess you could say. More and more people know about this story. And it's like everyone has this, I guess, even myself included. We all have this false image or false idea of who Rudy is. And none of us really know who Rudy is or how Rudy is. I think knowing how Rudy is a little more important. And when I say how, I mean like, what mental state is he in? Don't get me wrong, I understand that everything he went through is really, really icky, weird, creepy stuff, and I'm sure it's had its effects on his mental health. But, you know, his mother painted him out to be a mute, for one. Like, he couldn't talk much. She painted him out as someone that would always have, like, panic attacks, and he would freak out, like, he was always sick, kind of mentally challenged. I don't know if this dude suffers from like ADHD. I don't know if he's got, I mean, I don't even want to throw out all of the different things that he could have or be suffering from. I don't know. I just want to know, like, what type of person is he and how is he mentally? You know what I mean? Because if you let his mother tell it, and from everything we've been hearing, like at first we were hearing nonverbal. Now we know that he was talking. Now we know that he was hanging out with neighbors. And I think that if he's hanging out with neighbors, maybe he's not as loopy as we kind of think he is. I'm trying to say this in a nice way. But basically, I mean, I wish we could just talk like we used to be able to talk back in the day. Basically, the nicest way I could put it, Rudy's mother made it out to be like Rudy was a special ed kid. Okay? Let's just put it like that. I think that's, it might not be the nicest way you want me to say something, but I don't give a damn anymore. I'm tired of talking around in circles. Rudy's mom made him out to be a special ed kid. I want to know if Rudy is really special ed or if Rudy's just a normal person. Not saying that being special ed isn't normal, but is Rudy special ed or is he a person that's not special ed? Okay, let's put it like that. That's what I want to know. Because I think that makes a big difference when not only covering this story, just how we would look at this story in general. Is Rudy special ed or not? Because Rudy's mom makes it feel like Rudy's special ed. And this entire time, I've had this picture painted in my head of kind of like a special needs kid that, you know, is developmentally challenged, if you will, or mentally challenged, I don't know. But you know what I'm trying to say. But when hearing that he's hanging out with the neighbors, chilling, it doesn't seem like really he's as special ed as Rudy's mom made him out to be. And I've told y'all from day one that I think this is, there's some Munchausen syndrome involved in this, that Rudy's mom makes Rudy feel as if he's sick or he's got this problem and that problem. And we know that was definitely involved. But yeah, I just want to know what type of person Rudy is. And I understand that we're not going to get that right now. But I think that would help all of us moving forward. And I want to know, like, even if we don't get to know this, what about law enforcement? Do they know? I think there's a difference even when looking at charges if you're doing something to a special needs person as opposed to a person that's not special needs. But something was briefly mentioned in the press conference yesterday that a lot of people, I don't even know if they heard it. Maybe they did and they didn't register it, but I registered it. And I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about this, but I want to talk about this because there was something revealed in the press conference that kind of made me like, wait, hold up, what? Matter of fact, instead of explaining it to you all, let's go ahead and watch this clip. Hit that thumbs up button in the process. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of everything I've said thus far. We're going to watch this clip and then I'll be back with more thoughts because this little comment that was made during the press conference really made me like take a step back like, wait, what? But let's go ahead and check it out.
Well, she doesn't mind breaking in our house.
That ain't all she said.
Wait a step back.
That is not all she
Take
said.
your time, sister. Wait, just wait. I know you heard me. It's okay. Go ahead. Say your name first.
My name is Keisha Ross. I'm the neighbor that discovered that he wasn't missing. She didn't just offer them to go into her house. She offered my cousin $200 to go in back of the house the day all the stuff went down and knock on the window. Dolph, I saw him. He used to carry a gun. So suppose my cousin know too much. So why would you call him the same time you call my son after you hang up with my son and ask him to go in back of the house to wake Rudy up? Because if he's armed, he can get shot too. Because you so-called told me, and it's on video, I'm the one that gave that video of her saying that the reason why she didn't want him to tell nobody who he was or discover who he was because the cartel was supposed to be after him. Then she's making accusation she left because we asked her for money. You offered money. You paid my cousin on Cash App $10 to walk around the corner and tell the neighbor that he don't know anything. You offered us money. You offered me money to say that I was lying, that I was talking to a so-called nephew. Ask your nephew, do he know me? Ask your nephew what's inside my house. Only person that can answer that question is Rudy, because that's who I always let in my house and let in my garage since I've been here, and I've been here since 2022. And I never knew he was missing.
Stay with crimes we believe she's committed.
Okay, so
yeah, you heard that correctly. Dolph, which is Rudy, he has a pew-pew. If Rudy was really this special ed kid that was nonverbal, we know he's not nonverbal, but they say Rudy's always got a strap. Rudy's strapped up out here. From what the neighbors say, Rudy's strapped up. Rudy's got a bang bang on his hip. Rudy's, I can't even say the word, but you heard her. So that's really making me question, like, wait, hold up. Maybe Rudy isn't that special ed after all. I don't know. There's a difference between being timid and shy and, dealing with challenges, if you will. So this is really making me like, I don't know, it really makes me wonder. And I don't want you to add any extra context to what I'm saying. I don't want you to go off the rails. I just wonder what type of person Rudy is, how mentally stable he is, and things of that nature. Because I find it interesting that he would have a firearm and that his mom would maybe let him have one, and she explained it like he would always have it. I guess he would use it, or have it at his mom's job. I don't know, but thinking about all of the things that this kid has gone through, supposedly, thinking about the fact that his mom is locking him in rooms and feeding him shrooms and stuff, and to think that he's got a firearm, that's kind of scary. And I wonder what the hell is going on with that. But also, we were talking about in one of my prior videos how Rudy's mother was paying or offering to pay the neighbors to break into her house to get items or evidence out of the house. But one scenario that I've seen some people talking about online, and I don't necessarily think this is the case, but they think that maybe Rudy's mom was trying to stage something, like trying to have something crazy happen. Like maybe have someone go bang on the back window and have someone try to break in the house while Rudy was in there with the pow pow. And then, maybe Rudy would pow pow someone in the house. So people think that maybe Rudy's mom was trying to set up a scenario like that, because the neighbors do know a lot about this situation. The neighbors know a lot of information that does not make Rudy's mom look good. The fact that they've been chilling with Rudy for, a couple of years now while he was supposed to be missing, that's not good. And, she's trying to keep up with the lie that Rudy was never there, that these people are talking about one of her boyfriends or her nephew. But they're talking about Rudy. They were hanging out with Rudy. The mom's not ready to admit that yet. The mom is still trying to pretend like Rudy has just been found, and that the neighbors were talking to a nephew and they were talking to a boyfriend and all of that crap. So some people believe that she was trying to set up a situation where Rudy would probably shoot someone that was breaking into the house that she paid, or someone that was going to bang on the back window to get Rudy or something like that. I don't know. But that's the problem here. The same problem I had in my last video. The reporters who were out there didn't ask the questions that they should have. When you have the neighbors here talking, willingly revealing all of this information, you need to ask them more questions. Honestly, everything that was said by Quanell at the press conference, if you had been watching the news and his appearances on the news, then you already got all of that information. I want to give Rudy's family their, time and respect, and, they should be able to talk and say what they got to say. I understand that, but honestly, the most useful or important information that was revealed at the press conference was coming from the neighbors. And it seems like the neighbors got 30 seconds to talk and were kind of pushed to the side so we could hear the same exact thing we already heard from Quanell, and we could hear basically the same stuff that we already heard from the family. The new information that we got was from the neighbors. And no one asked them any questions. No one really made them elaborate. And, they're not media trained. They're dealing with a crazy scenario right now. And, they're kind of like, yeah, this happened there, blah, 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 blah. It's like, wait, hold up. Let's slow this down. Let's slow this down. So this lady offered you money to lie, offered your brother money to go to the back of the house and do this, offered someone else to go down the street and lie about this, offered you money to break into the house. It's like right here in this 10, 20 seconds that this woman is talking, we got like 5 scenarios where the mother tried to pay people to hide items, to steal items from the house, to possibly get shot and get wrapped up in a crazy situation, to lie to news outlets and what have you. This is the meat and potatoes of the press conference. This is what we should have focused on, but everyone's already wrapped up like, well, what about Quanell and what he said, and then the cop said this, and that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm trying to tell you all. Basically, the moral of the story here today, throughout every video I've made on the Rudy Farias story, the moral of the story today is do not get off track. Do not get sidetracked. Stay focused. Stay focused. Because if you stay focused and you don't get wrapped up in a lot of this nonsense that's going on, and I don't even want to call it all nonsense. There's a steady flow of all of this information that's coming out, but at the end of the day, you got to look at some of this information like, maybe that's interesting, but who cares? Because there were these little tidbits of information that were revealed yesterday that just got glossed over. Glossed over. Is it not? I mean, if what these people are saying is true, then that's almost an admission of guilt from Rudy's mom, as well as like other charges, right? But who knows? You know, I don't know what her motive was at doing this. Some people think that maybe she was trying to set up a weird situation to happen that would take the focus off the story that's already happening. And you know, Rudy's mom is a schemer. She's dumb. She sucks at Photoshop, but she's a schemer nonetheless. So don't put nothing past this woman. At the very least, whatever she had up her sleeve, she was plotting and trying something. And she was trying to get the neighbors involved. And to go back to the point that I was making earlier on in this video, if this is true about Rudy having a pow and all this stuff, I just really want to know, like, is Rudy special ed or not? I think that's an important detail. Sorry if I offended you by asking that question, but I mean, hell, I want to know. Let me know your thoughts though down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.